Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Beth with Crate with Beth, and today is the second video in my Card Making 101 series for beginning card makers. Yesterday we talked about cardstock and all the different ways to cut it and use it and all the ins and outs of that. Today we're going to be talking about pattern paper, which is how you decorate your cardstock when you're making your cards. So there are many different places to get pattern paper from at all different price points. So I'm going to go over a few of them with you. There's companies that charge more. There's companies that charge less. There's different types of pattern paper, different thicknesses that can be a factor in deciding what you're going to choose. Now, you don't have to go super expensive. You can go somewhere like Walmart. You can go to Michael's or some other craft stores and get pattern paper there, and it's going to be a little bit less expensive than some of the other places to get your pattern paper from. I will say though, the pattern paper that you get from Walmart typically is going to be a lot thinner than what you're going to get from some other places. So some pattern paper is actually cardstock that has been printed on, so it's a thicker, more sturdy paper to use, which you might prefer. Some other places that you can get pattern paper from are Stampin' Up. Lawn Fawn is another company. Scrapbook.com is a wonderful place to go. I think they have pattern paper. I believe they do. So yeah, some different places. Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to show you some different ones. The pattern paper comes in different sizes. Typically, you either get a 6x6 size that comes in these paper packs, or you get a 12x12. And for instance, this is a Lawn Fawn one, and it comes in this pack, and it is printed just on one side. That's the other thing. Some paper is going to be printed on one side only. Some is going to be printed on both sides. This is one from a company called Pebbles. And again, it is one-sided. Okay, and then you have Echo Park, which is a really great place to get pattern paper from. They have both the 6x6 pads and the 12x12, and they have excellent prices and a beautiful selection. A lot of times they'll have a sale with their pattern paper for only $5, which is amazing. So this particular pad has double-sided. And I'll just zip this open real quick. And the double-sided is always nice because obviously it gives you twice as much paper and designs to choose from. You're going to have actual solid pages, and then you'll have these pages like this, which are cut-aparts that you can use to put on the front of your card when you're making your cards. So that's just one option. Now, I mentioned Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up's pattern paper is actually called DSP, which stands for Designer Series Paper, and it comes like this. It will always have a cardboard front, and on that it will list the colors of cardstock that are actually in this pattern paper, which helps when you're designing your cards to coordinate with your cardstock. Their pattern paper is double-sided, and I like to keep mine in these vinyl envelopes, plastic envelopes that I get off Amazon. It just makes it easier to store. So you have that one. Now, this is another company that is really big with pattern paper. It's called Die Cuts with a View. They create these booklets of pattern paper. Now, this particular one is printed paper, so it's a lot thinner. This is typically what you'll get from Walmart when you are using that. So it's just very thin, like printer paper. But most of the time, Die Cuts with a View uses a heavier cardstock. So this is just a different sort of pattern paper. Park Lane is another company. This, I believe, is one that is popular at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. This particular one is printed cardstock, so it's thicker. Excellent for album making if you're going to do that. And you can see some of it is embossed with some shiny details. So this is a really pretty pack. And then at Hobby Lobby, they have their own line. It's called the Paper Studio. And this particular one comes in a pack of pattern paper with stickers and die cuts. So that's another way that you will often find pattern paper, which is nice. It gives you everything you need to create a nice scrapbook page or a card or album even. So that's another option. Die cuts with a view, like I mentioned, their pattern paper packs come like this. And you get 12 by 12 double-sided papers and a sticker sheet, which is really nice. And like I said, a lot of times you can get this for like $5, which is awesome. So the question is now, how do you use the pattern paper on your card base? I'm going to show you that real quick. I have a card base of cardstock that I can't remember what color this is from Stampin' Up! That we've already created in our last video. So now all you're going to do is take one of your, whatever your desired paper is, and this one is again from Pebbles, and I'm going to pick a pattern paper that I think will coordinate nicely with this cardstock. So for instance, this one has a color that is similar, so I think we'll go ahead and use this. This particular pad has a zip, what we call a zip strip at the top. So you're going to tear that on the perforation. And let's get my trimmer out. So typically what you want to do, there's a couple different things you could do. You could go ahead and cover this entire piece front with your pattern paper like this. In which case you would just cut this to the size of your card base, which in this case is 5.5 by 4 1/4. Or what I like to do is cut it and leave a border. Now you can leave a border that is very thin, like 1/4 of an inch, or you can go even wider. I guess this was 1/8 of an inch probably. You can go to 1/4 of an inch, you can go an inch, whatever you want to do. I like to do about 1/4, or between 1/4 and 1/8, and I don't really worry too much about exact measurements, but I will show you for this video. So we know that our card front is 4 1/4 by 5.5, so we want to go in at, first I'm going to cut this off. There's a little perforation at the top here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. I don't want that on my card, so we'll cut that so we get a smooth finish. I want to go in here and I want to go to 4 1/4, which I've already done, and I want to scooch it down a couple ticks, and that's going to give me the exact size border that I need. I'm going to do the same by going to 5.5, scooch it down a couple little ticks, and that will give me the size that I need. So then we'll bring our card base back in, and I'm going to bring in some liquid glue. And I'm going to go ahead and put a thin bead of glue all around my edges, and then in the center. And we will carefully line up. If I line up the top 2 corners and the bottom corner, I know I've got a good line up. And now I have decorated the front of my card with some pattern paper, and it's as easy as that. Now you can see that we had some scraps left. What I like to do with the scraps is I like to decorate the inside of my card and just glue this to the bottom like this. A lot of times I will take a piece of white cardstock and put that down first and glue this to that white cardstock, so that's an option that you can do. So that's how we use our pattern paper. I hope this helps you. I hope you'll run out and find some cute pattern paper for yourself today and get making those cards. Okay, in our next video, we're going to talk about one of the most important things with card making, and that is stamps. So join me next time for that video. Please like and subscribe in case you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye.